Made in Colombia? This is not exactly the country that knows about high technological development, complex systems, and famous programmers born in its territory. We have no idea that AAA video games are being developed in Colombia and sold very well on the outside. It is rather the foreign who are very interested in the digital talent that comes from Colombian programmers stuck on their cell phones or console while playing with content developed here. Video games don't show any Colombian emblem, and the developers don't want to tie themselves to the Colombian market with games that seem to be too national. Colombians have had access to the latest games and consoles almost as they appeared in the US market, giving the young enthusiasts the right motivation and role models to push their efforts. These young developers later became the pioneers of an entertainment industry that, although still considered to be in its early stage, is continually learning, growing, and becoming established, and is on its way to achieving international acknowledgement. The beginnings of the video game industry in Colombia are linked to the curiosity of college students and their research groups. Such is the case of Eibar Arlex Rojas, founder of Efecto Studios, who along with Jesus Cardona created a research group in 2000 at the University Autónoma de Cali. Then Immersion developed a small set of 6 levels called Cell Factor Revolution 2007, which can be considered the first representative of the emerging video game industry in Colombia. Once internationally recognized, Immersion had the opportunity to develop a game for Xbox 360 and PS3. In 2010 was a restructuring of Immersion Games and the creation what today is known as Efecto Studios, a video game developer for third parties. The Latin American market is impossible to monetize, and you can make a game that is specifically designed for this audience. That is what Eibar Rojas says. Among his most recognized video games we have Chavo Card and Gravity. Chavo Card, born as a result of the joint work between Efecto Studios and Televisa. The game had been well received in Mexico and in several Latin American countries. On the other hand, Gravity is a mobile game which received the award for the best video game in Barcelona, the Mobile Premier Awards. It's something like the most important application fair in the world. There are 3 awards, one for the best application of the year, another who choose the best game of the year according to the organizers, and other who choose the best game of the year according to the public. This one was precisely what Gravity won. Nowadays, Efecto Studio is the most representative video game developer in the country, having worked recently in Ark Survival. Obviously, there are many other great developers also recognized internationally. One of those big developers is Below the Game. Carlos Rocha, founder, executive director, and designer of Below the Game, with Nitai Uribe, co-founder of the company, decided to start this adventure in the video game industry in development set at the University Autónoma de Bucaramanga for poor passion for the pleasure of learning. Below the Game's portfolio includes more than 30 video games created in a corporative and advertising ways for training and entertainment, including Story Warriors, Fairy Tales. Today, the company, which is part of the incubation program of Sony PlayStation for Latin America, offers originality, dedication, and design as its pillars of development and platforms. puzzles and adventure games of their own or for corporate clients. Other developers that we have to take into account are NDA TerraVision. TerraVision Games was founded by Enrique Fuentes in 2005 in Venezuela, where it quickly became one of the main developers of entertainment companies such as Disney and Nickelodeon in Latin America, later creating products for video game companies including Atari and Namco as well. In 2010, TerraVision Games moved its operation to Bogota, Colombia, and in 2012, a joint venture with the Canadian company NDA Media took place. Currently, both companies operate under the name NDA TerraVision. The company currently focuses on creating mobile and web games with an emphasis on the development of character-based intellectual properties, as it is also an interactive partner for entertainment companies such as Breakthrough, PBS, and Nickelodeon. C2 Game Studio. C2 Game Studio began operation in 2008, providing simulation service, entertainment, advert games, serious games, and motion capture. From 2008 to 2011, the studio performed work for some of the largest companies in Medellín, Colombia, including EPM, Nutresa, ISA, El Cóndor, and Sena, always with the illusion of making games, but waiting for the right time to bet on this industry. In 2011, a strategy shift took place as the company decided to produce and market its own games. The first commercial games for 2C Studios was Cowboy Guns. It was rated the best iPad game in its launch week and won a National Design Award, Lápiz de Acero. In 2012, the game Nitro Chim was released, which received good reviews and was a finalist for several awards, including App Circus and Lápiz de Acero. Both games were published by Chilingo. Flaming Lab. On August 1, 2010, Flaming Lab came to life with just two members, a programmer and a designer, Germán Vallejo and Felipe Rodríguez. After creating the company web page and its first Unity engine game about a character that had to catch a small flame that appeared randomly in a space, Flaming Lab was officially launched on October 3 of 2010. In order to get involved in the iOS market, in November of 2011, Flaming Lab launched Map Trap, its first video game for the iPad. Since then, Flaming Lab's main goal has been to create video games and mobile apps, and so in March of 2012, it launched Ranch and Roll, its second game for iOS, which is available for iPad and iPhone. Press Start Studios. Created in 2011 by Luis Ernesto Parra, Yvonne Tovar, and René Serrato, initially focused on casual games for Facebook, publishing 4 titles and reaching over 200,000 players in more than 50 countries. In 2012, the company focused to the mobile gaming market with a project called Drive Me Bananas. These are only a few examples of video game developers in Colombia. And what we have to keep in mind is that the video game industry in Colombia so far is beginning, and the evidence of progress over the years are the hard work of these and many other developers who are leaving the name of Colombia in hide on the outside.